Hello everyone, it's Dio from Firm But Fair Gaming, bringing you another Diablo 3 video. Welcome to this video. So we are doing the Monk, and it's the Inna's Mantra build here in Season 25. So of course it is the blue set here. So this build is the current S tier pushing build for monks. It's a lot of fun to play and it is ridiculously OP. It's so much fun. Things are just blowing up all over the place. So basically this build, just to go through the set bonuses here. So the two pieces increase the passive effect of your Mystic Ally and the base passive effect of your mantra by 100%. The four pieces gain the base effect of all four mantras at all times, and you gain a 5% damage reduction for each Mystic Ally you have out, and your allies no longer take damage. And then the sixth piece there is gain the passive abilities of the 5 rune Mystic Allies at all times. Attacking enemies creates your chosen Mystic Ally that lasts 15 seconds. Up to 10 allies can be up at once. The damage of your allies is increased by 3000% for each Mystic Ally you have out. And the reason that this is so good is because of the new soul shards that are out there. So of course there is this pet one, so the Dredge of Lies. So you deal less damage, but your pets deal more. And so because you're going to have all your allies out there, going to deal incredible amounts of damage and just blow things up. So in my glove here, I have a rank 3 one. So again, it's still just 25% damage. But as you can see here, they have so much more. Like I got 150% increased crit, 24% damage against elites, some life per hit, 20% physical damage, and killing an elite reduces all my cooldowns by 5 seconds. So it's just very powerful. It's already cleared 150 for some people. I've just started with it. I'm just 800 Paragon. I've just been loosely playing around with it, and I breeze through level 100 with ease, and people are doing like speed 120s with this build. It's so much fun. It's so powerful, and it is the top spec in this season. For the items that we need in this build, we've looked at it a little bit, but we're rocking all 6 pieces here as the intro. So until you get the Ring of Royal Grandeur, you need to rock all 6. So of course that's helm, chest, gloves, belt, pants, and boots. For our shoulders, we're using these. The Soliloquy. For whenever Cyclone Strike, we take less damage. For the bracers, you have 2 options. You can use the bindings of the lesser gods, so when something is hit by your Cyclone Strike, they take more damage from your allies. Or you could use Spirit Guards whenever you use reduce your damage taken by 60% when you use a Spirit Generator. Again, this is just a survivability option if you're finding you need it. For our jewelry, we are wearing the Traveler's Pledge and the Compass Rose. Of course, that is while we're moving around, we get this buff, so we take less damage. And when we're standing still, we get a damage buff to increase our damage. We're also using the COE, Convention of Elements. And then for our weapons, we are using Shenlong Spirits. So this is, of course, the Fist of Legend and Relentless Assault. So the damage of your spirit generators is increased by 2% for each spirit you have. And when you reach maximum spirit, all damage is increased by 350, but you no longer passively regenerate the spirit. And 65 spirit is drained every second till you run out. So your spirit is just always going to constantly fill and deplete as you go throughout. And so yeah, that's kind of the build that you're using. Alternatively, what you could do, and if we want to look at the cube here for a second. So on our weapon cube slot, we're using the Flying Dragon. I'll just run down here so you can actually see the icons for it. So the Flying Dragon, chance to double your attack speed when attacking. Here's our Spirit Guards. And then we have the Ring of Royal Grandeur. Alternatively, if you're using the 6 pieces, I was rocking squirts as well until I got that, but I just got that not too long ago. So I'm using the Royal Ring of Grandeur, which means then I will be switching up my build here. So now I could be rocking the All Guild's Power, so I could be rocking that. And so be getting that benefit where we're going to be just get some damage reduction as well as increase our damage dealt. 2 and against elites. So on our 2 piece there, we deal more damage, take less, and then our 3 pieces reduce the damage from elites and increase our damage to them. And still I have this 6 piece here, so I could drop that and I could put on the crudest boots, which allow us to basically our mystic allies. It summons 2 of them that fight by our sides, and they deal up to 200% increased damage, so we're going to deal even more damage. So as you can see, just hovering back over to make sure we have our set bonuses. So there's that option. And then we can continue to switch this up as there's a third option to this if we want. If we do not want to use the Traveler's Pledge and Compass Rose, we could also use Focus and Restraint. And then of course, that would free up our next slot, and then you would just equip a Squirts as the best one in there. And that is the variation that you would have for the different items. And of course, if we do this and put on all guilds, then we go to our cube, and instead of the spirit guards, we would have the soliloquy there as the weapon, or sorry, not the weapon, as the armor enchantment. For the soul shards that we want, we are going to be using the Sliver of Terror. So it increases your cooldown, so that means they take longer to come off the cooldown. But for each skill that's on cooldown, we take 12.5% reduced damage and deal 12.5% increased damage. I'll just quickly go over here and I'll pop out my rank 3 just so that we can see what it looks like. Pull them both out. So at rank 3, it gives us more life, armor, reduces our cooldowns and our resource costs, and increases our XP. Because of course, as we rank it up, it gets the benefit of all the gems that would have normally went into that. So whether it was purple, yellow, white, or green, or red, so we get all those benefits. And then after, it also has the benefit here of casting a devastating ring of fire after killing 100 enemies. So what you would do is get pretty close to the 100 and then go make a big pull and kill something. Then you'd just be surrounded in flame. It would help nuke everything down. For our weapon, it's the Dredge of Lies, which I looked at a little bit earlier. So we get plus damage. We got increase from physical skills, critical hit, increased damage against elites, thorns, and life per hit. And we deal less damage, but our pets deal more. And then, of course, killing an enemy reduces our CDs by 5 seconds. So those are the gems that we'd be rocking. And for our legendary gems, or sorry, those are the soul shards. For our legendary gems, it's Bane of the Stricken, Bane of the Trapped, and Enforcer. So that's Stricken is, of course, every time we hit target, it takes increasing amounts of damage for each, like it's like a stack on it. Bane of the Trapped it's an aura around you that causes mobs, trash, or elites to take more damage from you. And Enforcer, it increases our pets' damage, and the pets take less damage. But our allies can't be targeted or take damage, so that is kind of a moot point. And if we're in farm mode where we're going to be blowing everything up and we are not going to benefit from stricken stacks, then we'll be rocking Bane of the Powerful. So that's a flat damage buff of 20% for a fixed duration after killing an elite pack. As you level that up, basically when you're doing speeds, as soon as you kill your first elite pack, it's up for the rest of the run, as well as every time you kill an elite pack, it refreshes it, so it would always be up. And those are the gems and soul shards that we need for this build. For the skills that we're using, so we're going to be using Way of the 100 Fists with Assimilation as our rune. So we're just going to punch rapidly for some damage, and each third hit increases the damage by 5%. So this is actually one of our primaries, so it's going to be a spirit generator. We're going to also use Cyclone with Implosion, so this just sucks everything in on top of you. And Implosion increases the range to 34 yards. This just helps groups things. Mystic Ally, so this is our big damage ability. It's on a 30-second CD, so we are rocking fire. So it splits into 2 and explodes for 1920% weapon damage as fire. And it also increases, well, we get the benefit of all the runes anyway, so that's what that one does. And this is our big damage thing, so you'd be pulling things in and using Way of the Hundred Fists and stacking it up. And when you had like elites or when you wanted to blow it all up, you would pop your Mystic Ally and that fire damage would blow everything up. And then you kind of just rinse and repeat and wait for it to come back off CD and pop it again. And that's kind of your big damage ability there. For our movement, we're using Dashing Strike with Blinding Speed, so we're going to gain some dodge after using Dashing Strike. Inner Sanctuary with Temple Protection, so create a circle on the ground for 6 seconds and we take less damage while we're in there. And then the Temple of Protection that basically makes us immune to control effects. Then our last ability here is Serenity with Ascension, so we just get enveloped in a protective shield for 4 seconds, and Ascension extends that to 4 seconds. Alternately, there is another build that you could use. So instead of using Inner Sanctuary here, there is one that uses Epiphany with Desert Shroud. So this, of course, lets us kind of teleport around as we're dashing to our targets. But more importantly, you would be taking 50% less damage while we're in our Epiphany. For our passes, we're using Seasoned Initiative to deal more damage against enemies above 75%. Because we're a nuke build, we want to deal maximum amounts of damage when we pop our CDs. Using Beacon of Yitar to reduce our cooldowns. We're using the Near Death Experience for the second life. And then, of course, we're dual wielding, so we want the 35% chance to dodge from Guardian's Path while we're using 2 one-handers. And that is the build that we are using and these skills for it. So basically, we're going to be using our Way of 100 Fists. We want to use our Cyclone. Of course, I run out of spirit when I want to use it. Pulls everything in. And then depending on what you want to do, if you need to get your dodge up, you would dash, drop our Sanctuary, and then our Fire Spirit would blow up and kill everything that's around us. For the stats that we're looking for, so on our helmet, we want Dexterity, Vitality, and then we want Critical Hit Chance, ideally 6%. For our shoulders, they're more of a survivability item here. So we just want Vitality, Dexterity, Resist All, because Dexterity turns into armor, so we don't want plus armor on here. We want Resist All. And then I just want to check here for the Cyclone Strike. We would be re-rolling this to the Mystic Ally to increase the damage there. For our neck, we are, I don't know why I threw that in there. Sorry about that. So for the neck, we want, of course, elemental damage. Then we want high critical hit damage and critical hit chance. I'm rocking fire for my Mystic Ally, so I want fire damage. That is the element that I'm after. For our chest, it is another survivability item, so we want Dexterity, Vitality, and Resist All. Our gloves, we are after a quad roll, so you would want cooldown reduction, attack speed, critical hit damage, critical hit chance. So obviously, first we want critical hit chance and critical hit damage, and then attack speed, and then we would want cooldown reduction if possible. So these are regular gloves, so I could really roll that dexterity off into cooldown reduction. For our bracers, we want plus elemental damage, then we want dex, vitality, and then we want 6% crit. Obviously, this is not a great roll here for me, so I have just physical damage, which I would want to be fire because I'm rolling the fire for the Mystic Ally. And then I want 6% crit, so I will be trying to replace these. The belt is a survivability item, so here I have dex, vitality, resist, and plus life. You could get armor on here, but we're going to get max armor from our dexterity, so plus life is what we want. For our rings, so for the rings we want, this one was an intellect ring that I got from my witch doctor, but I have 6% crit, which is why I kept it. But ideally we would want critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and then dexterity or cooldown reduction if possible. So this is just an okay one. Obviously it's got intellect on it, which isn't great, but intellect turns into resist all, so it kind of works as defensive, but ideally we would want this to be more offensive related. So that's for both rings. So again, we want critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and then either cooldown reduction, and of course our sockets. For the pants, it's just a survivability item, so we want dex, vitality, and resist all. And then for our weapons, we want plus damage, dexterity and cooldown reduction if we can get it, because again, we want to be able to use Mystic Ally as often as possible. And so that's what we would rock there. For our boots, we want dexterity, vitality, resist all, and then I just want to double check if this can be Mystic Ally. It cannot. So then we would, even if it was plus armor, would be good there, or movement speed. So those are the different enchant or the stats that we would like. Overall, like again, my gear, I need to fix it quite a bit because I need more fire damage off my bracers as well as crit, but that's ideally what we're looking for off our items. I did want to make one correction. As I was thinking about that, I just realized that there should have been a second piece of gear that we could roll the Mystic Ally damage, and I was right. It was onto our chest piece. So on our chest piece, ideally we would like dexterity and then either vitality or resist all, and then we would want to roll our Mystic Ally damage on there. So that concludes the build guide here. So this build is a lot of fun. It's got great push potential, obviously, with people already doing like high 140s and some have even completing high 150s. This is the S tier build for the monk, and it is the highest cleared Greater Rift so far in season 25. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. Of course, we appreciate any likes and subscribes and shares. We enjoy making videos for you guys, so let us know if you have any questions or comments. We love hearing from you guys. Let us know what we can do better or what you're looking for. If you're looking for other videos, share some ideas. We'd be happy to put them together for you. Good luck, everybody. I hope you have fun pushing, and I hope you are enjoying Season 25.